DraftSociety.com presents a Premier League Draft Fantasy Podcast. Welcome to the Key Pass Collective, your exclusive source for the information, analysis, and advice you need to dominate your fantasy leagues. Come on in. We've been expecting you.
What's up, draft heads? How is everybody doing? Welcome in to the KPC for another week of some draft fantasy football chat. Let's do this. My name's Joe Williams. I'll be your host for this particular episode. Welcome on in. Thanks for joining us, those who are in chat and those who are watching live. Zach, Old Scruffy, Draft Espresso, what is going on, everybody? Zach says, beautiful evening to celebrate a Man City loss. Some of us will be doing just that, my friend. The dreaded Magpie, what's going on? Lloydie LFC, what's going on? Hey, everybody. If you're chilling in chat or if you're watching live, say hey and throw any questions, comments you have live. Toss them in the chat. That's why we're here. That's why we do it live. So yeah, this is the time. This is the place. Wednesday at 5:30 is normally when we do this Eastern Standard Time. So if you ever can make a live stream and you're not here right now, do it. It's a lot of fun. We get up to some good conversation, and the guys in chat are just incredible, and the occasional lady as well, and maybe non-binary friends. Anyway, if you're just joining us for the first time, of course, we are the Draft Society's podcast, essentially, audio companion. We're called the Key Pass Collective, but we're brought to you by thedraftsociety.com. Real quick, let me go over just a couple of things in terms of the Draft Society and what it is. Basically, it's your one-stop shop for anything draft Premier League related. So this fantasy game that we play and love, we've got everything you possibly need there on the Draft Society. Top 75 consensus ranks, weekly waiver wire articles, Sleepers 11, Ghost Point Hunters from Ryan, useful draft statistics that are completely free and like very, very in-depth, projected lineups every single week. That's all completely free. Completely free. If you are willing to join the Inner Circle, which is our subscriber-only section, it's what keeps the lights on for us. If you're willing to join that, there's some other benefits there, some other goodies there for you as well. And we are still running a 50% off sale on that with the code CYBERDRAFT if you sign up for the Ultimate Pass. If you do that, you will get all of these Inner Circle perks that you see on the screen. If you're listening to the audio version, I'll go over a couple of them. But essentially, weekly rest of season player rankings, weekly point projections for every single player, what we believe that they will score based upon our algorithms, gut feelings, form, etc., sortable consensus rankings, set piece taker tracker, confidential trade advice, so much more, and you will get access to the fantasy toolkit, which is really the crown jewel. Talked about it basically every week. I can't stop talking about it. I can't get enough of it. I use it literally every single week, and it's cut my preparation time for each game week like in half, maybe 3/4. It really is that incredible. It's bespoke to your Fantrax ID. It'll tell you what players are available in your league. It'll tell you the projections for all your players versus your opponent's players. It will give you the value of your players versus the value of any players that you're looking to potentially trade in to see if you're getting a good deal on a trade or at least breaking even. There's so many tools in there, and they're actually bespoke to your particular league. And the players that are available in your league. It really is incredible. Check it out. And again, if you're willing, if you want to help us out, half off CyberDraft is the code. Get the Ultimate Pass today. Thanks to everyone who already supports us. We couldn't do it without you all. Appreciate you so much. So today, we are going to jump in. We're going to start by talking just a little bit about the double game week that's coming up. And it's not a big one. It's not a super interesting one. It's interesting a little bit, I suppose. And so we'll talk about it for just a little bit. And then we'll do a quick overview of just a couple of transfers that have come to light or are heavily rumored. We don't want to get into the territory of, the back pages and rumor mill, but we will, if there are some that are substantiated, some that are really being talked up quite a bit, we'll jump into those and just kind of give our thoughts on some of those a little bit. But again, this has been a pretty quiet window, and spoiler, there's not a ton this week either. So we'll talk over the couple that are there. But more importantly, we got true or false for you this week. So we're going to do some true or false. It's been a while since we've done true or false, so that'll be fun. And then we'll get your Game Week 23 streamers in. But first, let's go ahead and welcome in a couple of lovely gentlemen. One being Sanjy, one being Ryan. Guys, how was your work day? I'm just going to go ahead and say it right now. I didn't have one because I had a snow day, and it was glorious.
Oh, yeah, you're part of the southern blizzard, as it were.
Yeah, we got at least an inch and a half here, and it was enough for North Carolina to be like, nope, we're done.
Oh, yeah. I remember randomly being in Atlanta a couple years ago, and it snowed, and then it was just like Armageddon for like a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, places that don't get snow are just, completely inept about dealing with it.
Yeah, but you're from the Midwest, right? So
yeah. No,
this would be nothing
hat to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't even have to. You can't even shovel an inch and a half. My
No.
God.
No.
I'm doing okay. It's a little under the weather, but otherwise okay.
Nice.
Inch and a half? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. If that.
What? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, no.
Wow. Yeah, but to be fair, that sounds like London with rain, so I kind of get it.
That's fair. Yeah. How you been, dude?
Not too bad. Rocking a small little bug, but 'tis the season. I'm pretty sure my nephew gave it to me, but totally worth it. So
nice. It's that time of year. I saw a meme recently where it was like, basically you wake up every day wondering if you're sick or not, and you don't really know until like 10 a.m., maybe sometimes noon, whether your like body is feeling normal or not. It's like, is this just waking up, or am I actually sick? Like, I don't really. Yeah, it's that time of year.
Yeah, I've had to start buying like tests that have like 6 different things, like flu A, flu B, coronavirus, different strains. It's like, oh my God, I must have something.
Yep. My dad's getting over some bronchitis. It was laid him up for 4 days, and that man has not missed a day of work in years. So
must have some sick days lined up. Then.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he's feeling it though. He's feeling it. All right, guys.
Good?
I'm great. I can't. The part I left out is that they already called school off tomorrow as well.
Nice.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Like at this point, I want to go back to school. I want to, but yeah, no, they told me I can't. Like I gotta stay home.
Damn,
it's dedication.
This is what it is. All right, well, guys, the first thing I wanted to talk about quickly is just kind of to remind people about the double game week that's coming up. It's not an exciting one. It's not a huge one. It's not something that is going to make or break your season, but it's got some implications. It's got some implications, and it's coming at the point of the season where I think several teams are either kind of trying to make a late surge, trying to catch somebody who potentially is up the table from them, trying to secure a playoff spot if you play in a playoff league. So there's some implications for sure. So for those that don't remember and can't see the screen, Liverpool and Everton play each other midweek for Game Week 24. So we have a double Game Week 24 for Liverpool and Everton. Those matches include a Liverpool away match at Bournemouth and then a Liverpool away match at Everton. They also include a home match for Everton against Leicester, and then, of course, a home match for Everton against Liverpool. So, guys, as you're planning ahead, how are you thinking about this game week? Is this factoring into your preparations?
Oh yeah. I started thinking about trying to get in some Everton assets a couple weeks ago. That combined with the Moyes switch forced me really to pick up DCL against my better judgment. Thinking that he could get a tune out of him, and then at the least, fielding him in this DGW. But it's looked pretty good. I picked up Lindstrom as well. Oh, old Scruffy knows what's up. Picked up
giving you some props
last week in anticipation. Didn't think he would ball out as much as he did over the weekend. That was an added bonus. But yeah, I think for Everton at least, like you're gonna want them for that Leicester game anyways, and then if they start the game against Liverpool, it's a bonus. Obviously, like the set and forgets, like Tarkowski, you're gonna get both games.
Yeah,
I think you'll probably get Lindstrom too, but if not, the timeshare with Harrison means he'll at least get 30 minutes probably in the second one if he doesn't. So if he starts the first one, then you're golden.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Sanjy?
Yeah, agreed on those points. I mean, I have already started to look at even slimmer or more riskier picks, I want to say.
That's what I'm curious about, yeah.
Yeah, so I saw Curtis Jones came off injured in that Champions League game, so I grabbed Harvey Elliott in one of my leagues. But I mean, it's also like I've kind of set my lineup for this game week, and then I'm looking at my bench, and I'm like, am I gonna play any of these bench guys in the next couple of weeks? No. Then I'm probably gonna stash the likes of like Idris Gueye or El Mangala as like my mid five. And the thing is, it also depends on how your game week 23 is going, right?
Sure,
if you've already sealed your win, if you've already lost your game week, I say start making moves during the actual game week for 24.
That's great advice. Absolutely. And when do these teams play in game week 23?
Yeah, I was gonna say. I know Liverpool plays on Saturday against Ipswich.
Okay, so not great, but they're not the 12.
Everton does
They're both at the 3 p.m.
Everton's at
kickoff.
10,
Yeah. They're both
okay.
early.
It
So
could
it's a
be
bit-
better,
it's
but
a bit
it's
risky. Yeah.
it could be worse.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's fair. I mean, no, that's great advice. That's really, really good advice. Yeah, especially if you've got. Go ahead.
Sorry, there's one player I actually wanted to ask you about, given you're
Yeah.
the Liverpool fan. Darwin Nunez, off the bench, gets the brace, gets the win
Yep.
for Liverpool. Are you starting him even if he's benched in that first game?
He, by all reports, from all the match ratings I've seen, was also man of the match yesterday. And so he is, dare I say, in good form at the moment. What that means for him, I'm not really sure. But there's no way you don't start him in a double game week. At this point, I mean, you'd have to have a really stacked forward line to not start Darwin in a double. In a favorable double, I should say. Bournemouth and Everton, that's a pretty favorable double.
Ryan sounds hesitant, boy.
No, I mean, I think I would sell the news. I think I'd trade him before the DGW. He seems like a trap to me, especially if he doesn't start the first one. I'd rather get something for him rather than rely on him to come off the bench in at least one, probably two, to get me points. It's a tricky one.
I could agree with that. I mean, of course, he hasn't been starting. He had the theatrics last game week, but regardless, I don't think you're getting a ton for him. Like, who would you try for?
I'd have to think more about that. I wouldn't take much, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think this is the highest value he's going to have. He's scored a couple goals, especially if he does well this weekend, which he could against Ipswich. So I think this is probably, and going into a nice double game week, I think this is probably peak value for him.
I mean, don't forget Jota's out until at least February. Again.
I mean, he's been basically out all season.
Oh, God.
Hasn't meant much for Darwizzy.
I love the man, but I'm ready to move on from Jota.
You have to. You can't count on him. I mean, he's just one of those guys, you know.
I mean, like for the club.
Yeah.
No. Oh, but fantasy wise, I mean, I don't. If you roster Jota, I don't know what you've been doing.
Surely you at least nickel and dime Jota, though, no, Ryan?
Yeah. No, for sure.
We can't drop him, but yeah. That's.
But I mean, he's been an albatross on so many rosters.
So my point is this: the Diaz as the 9 thing started off looking really great, and then recently has tailed off, and that's an understatement. I mean, he hasn't looked great at all. So I think there's a chance Darwin gets in there.
If he starts this weekend, then maybe maybe I'll feel better about it. But I still don't think that's his spot. But I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, this is a really good question, Sanjy. Like, I'm trying to think. Okay, hold on 1 second. Let's look at some forwards. You guys tell me what the cutoff is. Where's the cutoff in terms of, all right, I have these forwards on my team, and I'm starting Darwin over these guys. So if we
Darwin
skip
from the bench.
Okay. Darwin from the bench on the first game. Sure. We'll do that. Darwin from the bench on the first game, or Raul Jimenez.
Let me see who they play. At Newcastle, ooh.
I think Darwin, no?
I think I'd still go Raul.
Oh, man.
Ooh.
Darwin from the bench in a double game week.
Just dunked on Newcastle at Newcastle.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Fulham or Bournemouth, though. Like, Bournemouth are doing some next level high gen pressing madness, so...
I'm just sorting by overall score, guys. So as for Raul Jimenez, we're already down at forward 15 because I know you're not. I mean, let's not kid ourselves, right? But things get interesting very quickly. Forward 19, JP Mateta
against Man United. I'd be tempted.
I mean, might as well be Ipswich. My God.
Yeah.
Go Mateta for sure.
Okay, Liam Delap. Forward 22.
Ooh, against Southampton at home. Jesus.
Oh yeah. No, I mean if there's probably a lot of other matchups, I would say Darwin, but for that one, yeah, go to Lap.
Yeah, that's like proper 6-pointer affair, right?
Yeah. What about?
So was Palace United, to be fair.
Yeah.
What about the healthy again, Danny Welbeck?
Nah, Darwizy.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's our line. Anthony Alonga.
Well, I mean, Welbeck's up against Nottingham Forest, right? So
yeah. Okay.
best defense.
So there's your line. And so if you have 3 forwards that are better than that, then great. I mean, yeah. Deal Darwin, find something else, see if you can get in. I don't know, see if you can get in Lindstrom or something for him, or see if you can get in. You have to do it now when hopefully the person you're trading with is not thinking about the double game week. But yeah, I think you could get something done for him off of the hype.
I think so too.
Yeah.
All right. Any other like lesser known players quick before we move on from this, or lesser rostered players that you're thinking about at all?
The Liverpool midfield is a minefield other than Brad and Birch. He was on the wire in I think 1 or 2 of my leagues. I tried to pick him up for the DGW, but he was, I think someone paid like 5 fab for him or something. So those are out. All the defenders are already taken. You could see a rotation at least at left back, obviously. So that leaves Everton midfielders and
pretty much
defenders not named Tarkowski and probably Mikalenko. So like you're looking at Jake O'Brien, or Branthwaite. Meh.
Yeah. Branthwaite's been so bad. Have you looked at his numbers?
I know. It's been terrible. Like 8 or 9 with a freaking clean sheet. Bad.
Really, really bad. Yeah.
So probably not. I think Idrissa Gueye is probably the only one I think about as a mid-5. I mean, even then, you're probably without a return, you're gonna get 12, which is nice, but
yeah, and that's what you're looking for on one of those double game week type of guys for sure. All right, nice. I like it. All right, I wanted to talk transfers real quick. Just a couple that have happened and a couple concrete rumors we've got going on. And then we don't have to spend too long on this. There's not a whole lot to talk about, really, to be honest. But Saints have signed, which as soon as I said Saints, you're probably, at least Ryan, you're probably like, no thanks. But Albert Groenbach from where was he from? Rennes?
Yeah, no thanks.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, 23-year-old. He's Danish and surprisingly not going to Brentford.
Brentford.
And 8 goals in 16 games. Not doing too bad. 30 goals in 87 appearances in all competitions. Sort of an attacking midfielder. Any interest, Sanjy?
No.
Good for you.
Like, why bother? Like,
Yeah.
what's the point?
I know. I feel you.
I'd rather
All
be
right.
late to that party, I think. So,
Your answers are going to be very similar for this one as well. I believe we have Woyo Koulibaly joining Leicester, who is a fullback. He is, I believe, 25, and has some attacking nous as well, and could be decent there for them.
I've got bad history with Koulibalys, so
All right.
yeah, no.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, cool. So we'll leave that one in the dust. And then, of course, let's just talk quickly about Ryan. You and I have been talking about him for 5 days now. Matheus Cunha. So the strongest rumors are to Arsenal currently, and both of us are dreading that. Do you want to explain why that is?
Well, we've seen a lot of times that these guys who are talisman for pretty poor clubs score really well because they're at the heart of everything, nailed on sets, all of that, even if they're in a worse team and that score less goals.
Yep.
So just right off the bat, moving away from Wolves to a top club like Arsenal's a ding. And then if you add into the fact that he'll have to bed into the system a bit, there might be a little bit of rotation, then you get another ding, in which case you're already off the lofty pedestal that he's been on this season as a top 10 player. And then you're looking at maybe like between 20 and 30 if he kicks on, in which case, yeah, it's not good.
Yeah. Yep, that's fair. And I think a lot of his ghosting potential dries up. And I'm thinking about, when I traded out Morgan Gibbs-White after JWP had come in and it looked like the writing was on the wall. The play was no longer seeming to go through him anymore. He wasn't on every set piece. And I think we're dealing with a similar thing here.
Yeah, the only way that he could counteract this and offset it is if, hit the ground running, nailed down a position, and was just, involved in more goals. But yeah, the ghosting is not going to be there.
Yeah. Old Scruffy asking what position he'll play.
Great question. He can really play across the front three. I think his best position is off the left or like as a floating 10. That doesn't really exist at Arsenal. So
yeah,
my guess would be on the left, especially with Saka out. So my guess would be he would be on the left. Martinelli would be on the right while Saka's out. If Saka comes back, then I think he's battling probably Martinelli and Trossard for the left.
Oh, Lord.
And then he can also sub in as a 9. They could try him out there, give Kai some rest. But I think he's probably coming off the left. Now, what his fantasy prospects would be at Forest is
different story.
Yeah, is a different kettle of fish potentially. If, and it's a big if he can wrest away the sets from Mr. Anderson, then we might be looking at something different. But they still have an interesting kind of counterattacking style, which I guess is similar to Wolves. But if he can get sets at Forest, I like him better there as a fantasy asset. As a fan, I would love him at Arsenal, obviously.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. I want him on every team that I root for. So the bottom line is that any move probably dents his fantasy value.
I think so.
Yeah,
odds on, but there's a slight possibility it doesn't. But if I was a betting man, and I am, I would bet against it.
That's fair. All right. So when I asked in Discord if people wanted us to talk about any transfers, I wasn't even registering this, but apparently Draft Alchemy said Garnacho. Rumors for Garnacho are heating up, potentially potentially to Chelsea or Spurs.
I saw Napoli and then Chelsea. Napoli's been the persistent one.
Oh well, then who cares? You're just going to drop him.
Yeah, but I don't see why they would sell him to Chelsea, especially if Napoli's going to pay the same amount. It would have to be, I guess, an overpay from Chelsea for it to make sense with United. But again, they're competing with Palace and Leicester at this point. Chelsea really isn't their peer.
Yeah. Sanjy, you have Garnacho in at least one league. What's your thought on all of this? And
I mean, this uncertainty is why I sent you a trade, right? I sent multiple people trades for Garnacho for underperforming forwards. I think I'm just even gonna try for like Mateta, like anyone that's literally nailed at this point. Just because I'm lacking forwards, and I probably should have made this deal a long time ago, like gotten rid of him a long time ago. But yeah, I don't know. I had some foolish hope that he would eventually come good or be useful, but I eventually found a solution to that problem, picking up mids as the season went by. But yeah, I mean, if push comes to shove, he goes to Napoli, you drop. Like there's no two ways about it, unless you're in a dynasty league where you just hold on to him, hoping it's a loan and he comes back. Ryan, there was an interesting point that you made regarding. Sorry to go back to Cunha, but you said how you'd prefer him if he had sets at Forest instead of Arsenal. Arsenal are like the top team for set pieces, though.
Well, no, he wouldn't get sets at Arsenal. Was my point,
okay.
And I think he'd have a chance at Forest. Yeah, I don't think I mean, they've perfected obviously the art of the set piece. So yeah, unless Juninho or a roided out JWP comes over, I don't think anybody's gonna lose their sets.
Love that. So it would be Forest, and even then, just given the form that they're in, why would you mix things up by having someone new take all of your sets?
But yeah, back to Chris Wood. Yeah. Ooh, sorry, I'm just fantasizing for a minute.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, combo goals every game week. But yeah, back to Garnacho. It's a tricky one, right? Up until it's confirmed, I think right now you just spam other managers in your league with trades. Pull a Genie. That's what Genie does every week.
I figured that's what you were doing when I got that trade offer. I was like, oh, he sent one of these to everyone in the league. And that's exactly what I would do. And exactly what you're saying, like if there's even a small chance that this player is going to become a player you drop in 3 weeks, then why not just get somebody who starts and, somebody who maybe has a glimmer of hope, and then just see what happens. I'm completely with you. I think that's exactly what you do.
Yeah.
All right, final one, guys. Enciso heads over to play with the Tractor Boys. What do we think about this one?
Meh.
I feel like he's gonna frustrate Liam Delap.
Really? Interesting.
Because Enciso's such a greedy player, man. At least he has been this season more so than I remember.
He is.
He's taking terrible shots all the time, and that's the last thing they kind of need. I feel like they need a bit of creativity in that midfield to kind of help Hutchinson out a bit. But
that's legit. His only potential saving grace is that he puts up garbage shots, and you can get some ghosts that way.
Well, the other people might get KPs now. That's the thing.
True. If you're really struggling at midfield, I guess you add him if he's free. I'm not paying any fab for him. I'm not holding out a ton of hope.
It's a pure Hail Mary.
Yeah. All right. That covers it, unless you guys have any other transfers you want to just mention quick.
Still seeing some Dougie Lou rumors, and to City, as we kind of called very early in the window, but yeah, it's still TBD. But he's somebody I would love to have if he comes back.
Oh, for sure. If he's going to play that Rodri role,
Yeah,
definitely. And people don't remember. Maybe Rodri scored very well as a center defensive mid. He scored very well, and we're used to our CDMs not scoring that well. He was fantastic. So yeah, if you have somebody more competent in that role than Mateo Kovacic, or the ghost of Ilkay Gundogan, then
Gundogan's past.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be tasty for sure.
It has to be like one of the worst return home performances I've ever witnessed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't
Like
do
even
that.
Henry's and Drogba's return to their clubs were better.
Oh yeah, Henry go against Leeds was legendary.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's
Speaking of Leeds, they look like they're coming back up too, eh?
Yeah, I believe it when I see it.
I'm excited if it happens. Bring it on. Let's go.
We already got Cree, man. What else do you want?
That's true. Here my
You want
question is
Big
so
Willie style?
all of the Americans that started following Leeds, do you think they still do, or they're off that train immediately?
Well, Adams left. I think they got Aronson back. I think he's still playing with them. Yeah, I mean they're not following him in the championship. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah. But that, I mean, it just goes to show, like you don't become a fan of a team just because of a player is from the country you're from. It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, tell that to the millions of Spurs fans from Korea.
That's fair. It's like when I was a kid and I would get jerseys from different teams, and then like I would be heartbroken when that player left that team. I'd be like, well, now my jersey's just fucked. What am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah, biggest transfer heartbreak I ever had was, I mean, the Fabregas one was bad, but WB leaving Valencia for Barcelona really killed me. That was really hard.
Yeah.
But you live and you learn.
All right, let's move into some true false, boys.
Tell me the truth. You owe me that much.
Damn, that's
good.
loud. Sorry. It
Don't apologize.
was louder than the rest. I don't know why. It's because it's shredding. It's metal. Anyway, true false. These are going to be bold statements and or predictions based upon current Draft Premier League trends. We are going to discuss whether or not we think they will come true. These are good. Chat as well. I want to hear your answers to this. So we're going to BS for just a couple of seconds once we introduce each of these questions or statements, and let us know whether or not you think they're true or false. Before we
Also, if you have any of your own true false that you want.
Love that.
fun.
Love that. All right, first one, guys. We've already talked about them a little bit, but Everton starting now. So rest of season starting now with 0 points. Everton will have 3 or more 10+ points per start players rest of season. Currently, they have 1 second.
One?
Currently, they have
Just Tarks, I'm assuming.
2.
DCL, no?
You're forgetting about McNeil.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, he's injured. You're forgetting
Who?
about McNeil.
none.
Dwigged.
Yeah, fair.
Do it.
Yeah, so they have 2 currently. Starting now, Everton will have 3 or more 10+ points per start players rest of season.
I mean, I might just be gassed off that one performance against Spurs.
That's why I put the numbers on the screen. So Idrissa Gueye, 22 points. Jesper Lindstrom, 22 points. Calvert-Lewin, what is that? 19.5. Iliman Jai, 19.5. Tarkowski, 11. And it goes from there. But yeah, those are the main heavy hitters.
I think it's true. Just because Tarks is going to continue to Tark. McNeil probably won't start again, so he'll be locked in at 10. And I think one of DCL, Lindstrom, or maybe Jai has a chance. Lindstrom, if he can nail down the role, just because of his sets and his style, I think has the best chance. But he's also got the biggest minutes competition. TCL, if he can start scoring goals, I think has a good chance. And then Jai is kind of a wild card.
Kind of is, yeah. People are jacked about him, though. I mean, he is that one player that passes the eye test.
He was dropped in a lot of leagues,
That's
like right
wild.
before this too.
Yeah, I mean, I get it though. We've been talking shit about him for basically the whole season.
Yeah, I think his prior game week was either 0 or like a -1. I think. Yeah, he had
like
stinker.
6 dispossessions or something like that.
Yeah, he was
crazy.
really bad.
Yeah.
And I think they were holding out hope for him under Moyes, and obviously that cameo was the last straw, as it were.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is true. I mean, because, okay, McNeil's going to stay 10 plus. Tarkowski basically averages that for his entire career. And so you need one player to step up. I think it can happen.
4 would have been a
Four
cheekier
is-
proposition.
Yeah.
4 might be a stretch.
Do you say no to 4?
I say it's possible, but if I had to bet, I would say false.
All right, so if it's 3, who's the 1? You have to put your money on 1 right now.
Oh man, there's so many ifs for Lindstrom. God, I hate to say it, I really do. There's so many ifs for all of them, really. PCL injury prone. Lindstrom could be benched. Jai, yeah, could be dispossessed to all hell. I'm going with Lindstrom. I don't care.
Okay, Sanjy?
So the question is guessing who the 4th person is.
No, the 3rd. So we have
Good.
McNeil, Tarkowski.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in Jai.
Okay, interesting. Oh man, I was leaning Jai as well. I think, but God, his numbers so far have not given any encouragement, and I don't know. It's going to have to be a true renaissance from him. It's going to have to be like, oh, different system, or he's relied on more heavily now, or he's able to use his creativity more, because yeah, what we've seen previously was not it.
Yeah, in a game where a lot of people ghosted, I mean, you see Lindstrom at 22 goes, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
He still only got 8.5, which is good, but like in an inflated game, in a regular game, that equates to like 4 or 5.
If Lindstrom
So
nails down the spot,
he needs to get returns.
yeah. If Lindstrom nails down the spot, I mean, it could easily be him. 22 in 69 minutes. That's impressive.
Yeah. We'll
All
see.
right.
I mean, the Brighton will be a really good test. Let's see if he
Yeah.
can. Not expecting 22, obviously, but if he can get
Yeah.
double digits, I like it.
Yeah. And they've been a little bit better recently, so it'll be interesting to see. Is that home or away?
Away.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be
So,
a really
Even better
really,
test.
Tough one. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. True or false? Ipswich will manage at least one fantasy relevant attacker rest of season. At least one. Now, I know you're going to argue. Some will argue. Sanjy, probably, to be honest, will argue. I don't know why I'm picking on you, Sanjy. I just am.
I love an argument. Don't get me wrong.
Will argue that Liam Delap has already been fantasy relevant. But has he? He's 8.3 points per game. He's just as likely to blank you, get you 3, as he is to get you 10.5 with a goal. Lately, it's been a little bit better. 25 against Chelsea, 16.75 against Fulham. But then he came back with a 2.75 against Brighton and a 6 against City, which were all ghosts. I'll give you that. So, I would argue, yeah, fantasy relevant. Nah, he's a streamer at best.
Not a forward 3 nailed on penalties, starts every game.
I I'm lucky enough that neither of my teams need to start somebody like him as a forward 3.
Same.
Because I mean, we were talking about struggling to find dependable forwards or whatever. I think a pod or two ago, right?
Last week. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you're struggling at forward, he probably is a forward 3. My question is, okay, you've got Liam Delap, who, as you mentioned, yes, is on penalties. Him or a midfield, a mid 4? Like him or, I don't know, who's comparable in the midfield? Somebody like a
Baleba or something like that?
Ooh. Yeah, that's actually a really good one.
Or like a Cook.
Oh, Cook every day of the week. Not close. So this is okay. So this is. I'm just setting the stage. So let's just for the sake of argument say he's not completely fantasy relevant. Rest of season, will we get one who's better?
No. Like unless Jacob Greaves decides to start scoring goals like Patterson style. I don't think I'm gonna touch any other Ipswich asset.
This question was put forth by Draft Lad, and I think it was on the heels of the Enciso news. So I think it was one of those, could he con us into, could he bait us into saying it would be Enciso?
I mean, I'm no.
Yeah, I'm a no.
I don't mess with these promotion teams usually.
I think if you got the lap though, he's going to be fine. Like you keep him, at this point you know what he is, and yeah, if you got 2 serviceable forwards in front of him and you're hoping for a goal, but it won't ruin your game week if he doesn't get one, then that's exactly what your forward 3 is supposed to do.
Indeed.
All right, love it. Here comes your next one. True or false? Sanjy, this is yours. Amad Diallo will finish the season as a top 10 fantasy asset. Overall scoring, overall points. Top 10 fantasy assets. On the screen, you see his scores since December 4th. 12.25, 42.75, 12.52, 3.5, 10.5, 30, 15, 4.25.
Is this from today until the end of the season, or is this the entire season?
No, the entire season. Yeah, the entire season. Everyone's scores sorted by overall fantasy points.
False.
Sanjy?
I'm gonna say true, given I put it up there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's right now. If you just look at outfielders, and obviously, like it's quite bunched up and stuff like that. He's 15th after 15 starts. He could easily break into it. I don't see why not. Like, are you fully expecting the likes of Anthony Robinson to stay 6th overall rest of the season?
At this point, maybe.
Like Daniel Munoz, 11th. Like I'm expecting some sort of regression from these defenders. I expect the attackers to go up, and I think like the limited goals that United have been scoring, it's either Bruno or Ahmad that have been contributing to these attacking returns.
It's true.
I mean, the options at their disposal are all trash. Like Ahmad is much better than what they're rolling out every game week, right? So I think more often than not, he's going to be up there in and amongst like the top performers for Manchester United team. And I mean, will they turn it around? Who knows? But yeah, I think I'll go 10th exactly. Let's put it there.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it. You're going to need some people to fall out of that top 10. So, okay, if Cunha goes to Arsenal, he's out of the top 10. Like you said, potentially Robinson can't continue doing what he's doing. Maybe somebody like an Iwobi potentially falls out of that range, and we're starting to see some openings up there. You got to think Saka comes back and kicks on, right? I mean, like, he's 9th though, so that could be close.
I'm gonna hope and pray Haaland falls out that top 10.
Oh, please. Yeah, be amazing.
That would be
incredible. Yeah, I think. I mean, even people in chat, Old Scruffy saying he could see him sneak in. I think, like you said, Sanjy, if he does, it's right around 10. It's like it's 9 or 10. But
Yeah. Like 15 seems safe, I think. In that range, I'd say 10 to 15, right? But we're talking about 10, so I got to go the furthest possible position, so.
he's the only spark at the moment for that team. I mean, he is the only source of belief and motivation. Like, I think I think he's going to be
also talent.
well. I mean, arguably Bruno Fernandes is talented. He just I don't know what the hell's happened to him this year. Man, I think you're right. I think he's going to be right around 10. I'm with you. I don't love to say it, but I'm with you.
I think it'll be close. I think it's nailed on top 20. I don't see him cracking the top 10, but I hope I'm.
Yeah.
It's not one of those things where I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm absolutely right. But
I got to give Genie props for being so high on him at the start of this season.
yeah, it was a bold call.
That's one of his kind of, gut calls that he has, and every now and then takes some shit for it. But I mean, it took a little while to come to fruition. So hopefully you held if you had him. But
Yeah, that's the rub. There was a nice little intermission where you're like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Started strong and then got benched, and then Ten Hag left and all that. So.
Exactly. But yeah, man, wow, what a talent, really. I mean, I mean that earnestly. He's an incredible youngster. Yeah, I wish I had him on one of my teams, but I certainly don't. All right. Nice one, Sanjy. Great question. All right, up next. Marmoush will be the most valuable transfer rest of season in Draft Premier League. Most valuable transfer rest of season.
False.
Okay. Explain.
Go ahead.
Like, I don't think you're getting a sure starter. So it really is roster dependent on how you consider his value, right? If you got a deep roster, then sure, you consider it valuable or whatnot. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, it still concerns me that City are not fixing the issue. I mean, yeah, okay, you talk about the Douglas Luiz links and stuff like that, but it still concerns me massively that they're not fixing the issue that they need to actually fix.
Yeah.
And it's similar to like a Brighton situation where there's just way too many cooks in that kitchen for me. This could easily just be like a signing that they're trying to get, get value for over the next couple of seasons. And maybe some of their big hitters actually end up leaving after this whole 115 debacle kind of plays out. Right?
Yeah.
I think that's right.
Yeah. I don't know. I get the hype, City player attacking potential, but I don't know. I think it's potentially a trap, and I'm sure people are gonna like waste their fab on this, like ridiculous amounts.
I hope so.
I mean, yeah, and here's the thing, like, just in terms of this question in particular, this is another one that was raised by Draft Lad. Who is it if it's not him? And I understand. Okay, so I believe this is Dude Fuck You or Do Fuck whatever. Anyway, Doof Gu says that it will be Cunha at Arsenal. I don't know that I count that.
Yeah, that's even though as we said, I think he would take a dip. It still doesn't technically count. This is transfers. That's from. Yeah, it just doesn't count. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
You're not going to be able to. You're not going to be able to bid on him. If you can't
right.
bid on him, it doesn't count.
Yeah. Exactly. So far, it's him or Malen, pretty much. And through 2 weeks, my investment in Malen is not looking great.
I sold him for 7 fab a couple of days ago. I'm totally happy because I got him on a free because he came into the waiver wire in a weird time. So.
Oh wow.
And nobody else was. I had to basically like make the pitch to him, to a fellow manager on on why he's has potential, and that I just have too many forwards, and I give him to you for 7 fab. But
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder.
yeah, no, I'm totally happy with that flip. At this point, it's the field. If there are no other decent transfers by that time, then maybe. But at this point, you're hopeful that somebody else will come in. And it's usually somebody kind of random. So like maybe that Brentford right back, or Dougie Lou comes back, or Arsenal finally gets some balls and gets Sheshko or something. I don't see Marmoush being it.
Yeah, we didn't talk about Sheshko. The rumors are there, but it's not yet to the point where I would say they're substantial. But you and I talked earlier today about his fantasy prospects, and both kind of thought that he would be pretty goal dependent. Not going to see a ton of ghosts probably from him.
Yeah, other than maybe aerials given the set pieces, but given the chances to create, if he can come in and hit the ground running, even despite being goal dependent, he would blow Marmoush out of the water.
Oh, and what a great one for the future. Just for the Arsenal team. Just talk about like building a squad that's going to compete for years to come.
Guy's a beast. Still a little raw, but 22. Yeah, he's like a monster.
I think he just kind of has that to his game, though, too, that kind of rawness and like a little bit of unpredictability, which is actually a good thing, I think.
Yeah, having said that, this is what the conversation was at Benfica pods when Darwin was leaving.
You're right. No, you're right. You're right. The difference is... The difference is, does Sheshko own shooting boots? Because if he does, then he will be.
He's got a freaking strike on him.
He scored tonight.
I don't know how well
he
is with sitters, but he's got some
man of the match.
Was he man of the match?
Is good.
Yep.
Oh wow. Well, there you go.
It was like a hipster's wet dream today. Him against Gyökeres. And they both scored. Him and Gyökeres.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Gyökeres off the bench too. What a guy, man.
I wonder why he was on the bench.
Possibly coming.
Huh.
Interesting. Yeah. When you said hipster's wet dream, I thought of St. Pauli.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah. I was like, I didn't know they were playing St. Pauli.
St. Pauli against Como or something.
Yeah. That's perfect. That's perfect.
What was that?
Rich
that team in Italy that named themselves the Bowskis or whatever. That's great.
Oh man. All right, so we're taking the field. It's nobody yet, but we're taking the field. I think if Totti were here, I think he would say Marmoush.
Yeah, because he was also the one banging the drum about Weghorst. Back in the day. So,
true.
He likes to nail his, what is it, to the colors to the mast or whatever.
Yeah. All right. I just don't, unless somebody splashes some cash, he's probably your best bet. So I don't blame people for spending up on him.
But so say you have the most fab in your league, and obviously it's him or waiting for the field, and let's say he gets into the waiver wire pool, so next week for Tuesday or Thursday.
Yeah.
And there's still a little less than a week left of the window. Spunk it all on him, or do you roll the dice?
See, that's right. That's exactly the conundrum.
I think I would roll the dice.
I think I might.
But I also love having fab just for the rest of the season, for double game weeks and for drops and all of that. So like, you know what? Somebody's going to come, so I'll spend a little bit. And then if I don't, I'll have more fab for just regular $1 or $2 or $3 pickups rest of season. I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah. I also might try the tactic of kind of what you do preseason when you see fab wars ensuing. Like spunk all your fab, but not on Marmouche. Send all of your fab to another manager for an established fantasy asset and just see if they will bite. Send it for somebody like a Tavernier who's been injured. Send it for just somebody like that where you know that this person is going to be a good fantasy asset. Maybe they're injured in the moment, or maybe they're like going through a bit of a dip in form. But yeah, send maybe not all of it, but send a good chunk of fab and see if you can get them, because then that person has the potential, I guess like ultimate goal then of getting Marmouche and outbidding everybody else. So you have to target managers who like don't have a lot of fab now.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. All right. Let's move. True or false? West Ham attackers' points per game will improve under Potter. I know this is a pretty basic one, but when you look at things at the moment, they're pretty dire. On the screen, I have the top, 10, 12 West Ham players sorted by points per game before Potter. And then on the right, since Potter. So you can see we had 2 players that were 10 or better, some sprinkled in with the 8s, some 7s. Currently, we have Wan-Bissaka and Thomas Souček at 8, and the rest below that. Some significantly below that.
Man, I watched that game, and they were so disjointed and so incredibly bad. I can't stop. I can't get it out of my mind. So because of that, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say false.
Wait, you're telling me starting 3 CDMs in a back 5 isn't a good idea? What?
No, Cresswell was a freaking gentleman and a scholar. Everyone else, horrific. I think it's gonna take a while, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why this is a conversation. Like, when you see what's happened over the last couple of weeks, I mean, I know that people are still learning the system. Okay, but at the same time, man, like, even Paqueta, who we thought, oh yeah, maybe there'll be a better role for him under this Potter system, even he has fallen from 6.84 to 6 points per game. Like, it's pretty bad.
The Kudus looked like he was, didn't know his role. He looked lost.
Yeah.
There was a trade in my main league last week of straight up MGW for Kudus, and yeah, I definitely like the MGW side just
for sure.
The uncertainty and just how lost they all look. I think there'll be a slow burn.
Yeah. Sanjy?
For the sake of debate, I'll say true.
Okay. So
it might be in patches. That's the thing. Like, I'm just looking at their fixtures rest of season. Their last 6 aren't bad. There's like one tough fixture in there, NFO, but I mean, there's potential for them to kind of do this late stage. You'd hope by like, what game would that be? Gameweek 33. They'd have their shit together, learn whatever the heck Potter is trying to teach them.
You'd hope.
Yeah, because then from 33, you've got Southampton at home, Brighton away, Spurs at home, Man United away, Forest at home, Ipswich away.
Sure.
Yeah,
but
so I mean, like, their talisman has been missing for a few games. And you'd think and hope that once he comes back, that maybe something changes. So yeah, Bowen back on grass, according to old Scruffy. Yeah, I've got hope. So,
I think it depends on the type of league you're in. Maybe long term. When you were perusing their fixtures, did you look at the next like 5?
Yeah, that's why I started from 33. Because next 4,
Next four.
Brutal. Yeah. Villa away, Chelsea away, Brentford at home, Arsenal away. Yeah.
That is rough.
Yeah. I mean, they might do something against us. We're unpredictable fire.
That's true. Yeah,
Dumpster
that's true.
fire or whatever. So
and Brentford can be scored on, but they're certainly not going to keep a clean sheet.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. Like we don't know if he's gonna change things again tactically. Are they gonna maybe get in a last minute player in the January window as well? That could potentially change things the way they play their football. So
yeah,
I think there's still a bit of unknown. Like if we were in February and it was the same squad we were looking at, then I think I'd be closer to the false easily. But I don't know. Maybe Potter works his magic.
That Potter magic, the hands of the Potter, as they say.
As they do say that.
I think that's a God thing. I'm not really sure. Isn't that like is that a hymn? I don't really know. I'll be honest. I don't know. No, I think it's a hymn.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't know what. Yeah.
No,
cool.
like God being symbolic as a Potter. It's fine. All right.
Totally.
Thanks. All right, last one. Last one will be a pick me up because these have all been so negative. Last one will be a little bit of a pick me up. All right. Manchester City will not keep a clean sheet until at least game week 30. All right, so let me read these to you. If you have not gone onto our fixture difficulty tracker and looked at the strength of schedule for teams upcoming, particularly sorted by defenders, Manchester City, if you sort until game week 30, is second to last only because for game week 30, they play Leicester at home. But here's what it is until then. Chelsea away at Arsenal, Newcastle, Liverpool away at Tottenham, away at Forest, Brighton. That is a fucking murderer's row.
To be honest, I'd go even past that. Like I'd go up to 35.
You think Leicester score on them? Who's 31, 32, 33, 34?
United away, Palace at home, Everton away, Villa at home. And then in 35 is Wolves at home. I'm saying Wolves at home because if Cunha leaves, then I think Wolves are like basically fucked. So
I think Wolves are relegated if Cunha leaves. Yeah, but no, I think they keep one. Either Leicester, Everton, Palace, or Wolves. I think they keep one there.
Like I know they kept the clean sheet versus Leicester, but Vardy missed an absolute sitter that game, right?
Yeah, I mean all their clean sheets have been very near misses by the opponent.
Yeah.
So they don't need much to let in one. I think that's true. I think it's gospel, really.
This is bad, guys. Like this is really bad. I struggled to. I mean, actually, you could look at Forest too. I mean, that's a really interesting fixture list as well for Forest, and you start to wonder, this sort of Champions League charge that they're on, like how's that going to go for them? Bournemouth, Brighton, Fulham, Newcastle, Arsenal, City, Ipswich United. I don't know.
You might get one out of Brighton, Fulham,
Yeah. Yeah, you could. You easily could, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, City, I think it's true. I mean, that's the reason I made the question, but I really think it's true.
Yep. Same for me. Easy. Yeah.
Nice. Scruffy agrees with me as well. So that's nice.
So there's that.
Yep, there is that. All right, boys. It's time to move on to streamers. Game Week 23 streamers. We're not going to take an hour and 45 minutes tonight, which is actually fantastic because we've been doing that lately, and that is far too long. So
been having so much fun though.
We have. But it does mean we have a little time if we want to talk through any of these or disagree or make our case for any of them. So keep that in mind. We don't necessarily have to hurry through them. So Sanjy, you're kicking us off. And actually, I should mention, you were the last into the document, which always is something to just at least mention, because sometimes, and I'm curious to hear if any of yours that you were thinking were already taken or whatever. Just because when you're the last in, it's sometimes you're scraping the barrel.
It was absolutely brutal, man. All the Spurs players went. I was like, what the hell, guys? And so I in revenge, I decided to suggest 3 players from the same match,
Nice.
Yeah, the Palace games.
I feel like even though Palace are on a good set of like in terms of form, they've been performing well, etc. They're still kind of enabling assets points, like ghost points and stuff like that. So I've gone KLP. We talked about it last pod about forwards. If you're struggling to get ones that are scoring goals, getting assists, he plays OOP. Not in the way that you want OOP, but for a forward, it's fantastic, right? Getting all the defensive points. I think, he'll be a nice forward 3 to roll out this week. I've gone Elliott versus Ipswich just because of that Curtis Jones knock that he couldn't continue in the Champions League. I'm maybe hoping that they give Elliott more minutes just to kind of, load management for the rest of the players, and he doesn't want to risk anyone important getting injured, etc. And you're kind of prepping for that double game week in a sense, so it's a nice gamble, I think. Next, we've got Jensen, who was benched last game week. I'm expecting him to come back in versus Crystal Palace. I do think he's a tidy midfield option to kind of have on your roster rest of the season. And then finally, Richards, American Richards, right? He's American.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So he's basically gotten a starting spot because
You're goddamn right he is.
That's not the week to play that song. Sorry.
I love that you play that exactly when Omar has jumped in the chat as well, by the way.
Entrance music.
Yeah, love that. But yeah, Chalobah went back to Chelsea, and Richards basically took his spot. And we saw that Chalobah was one of the better ghosting defenders, not named Munoz, in that Crystal Palace backline. So I do think he's gonna have a new lease on life, and he could potentially be a great defender 3, defender 4 for the rest of your season. So those are my picks.
That's interesting. And he wasn't. I mean, previously he's had spells where he's been pretty good in terms of ghosting.
I think that's right.
Yeah. I like that, man. That's a good shout. Also, I was going to mention for your Keane Lewis Potter one. So if folks look at his scores, they're going to see a couple big scores in there. One against Southampton. So okay, sure. He scored 16.5 against Manchester City. Scored a goal. Okay, yeah, again, fine. But pay attention to the 5.25 and a 6.25 against Liverpool and Arsenal. Because that's pretty impressive against 2 really, really good teams where they didn't see a lot of the ball. I think he's got the capability to get you some decent ghost floor.
Yeah.
I like that.
Really reliable. And he's been floating on waivers for the longest while as well.
Yeah.
And been scoring well. It's kind of crazy, one's like more managers aren't rostering him or at least stashing them on their bench. So
But we talked about the state of things at the forward position and how a lot of people are in need at forward 3. So I mean, yeah, I think you were spot on with that. And Elliott, man, I mean, of course, if he starts versus Ipswich, absolutely you're rolling him out for sure.
Yeah.
And we mentioned it's the early match too, right? So you could grab him now and then drop and still be in a good position to pick someone else up.
Yeah, exactly.
Any idea how many starts he's had this season?
Elliott?
Yeah.
0?
In the Premier League?
Yep.
Yeah, 0.
0.
Yeah.
No.
He's the Carvalho. Just
it's so
hoping and just never happens. But
it's so strange.
He does.
I really.
He was talking about leaving this window too,
but then he kissed the badge over just during this week, and there were like all kinds of photo ops where it was him, and then afterwards he came out and said, "I'm not going anywhere. This is my club." So it's interesting. I listened to a lot of Liverpool pods, and people are just baffled. He started the preseason, right? The preseason. They took him on the America tour. They took him basically the entire preseason tour, and he was starting almost every match, and he was looking fantastic. And from all accounts, Slot was just over the moon with him. Gets injured and then just can't even sniff the team now. It is the most bizarre thing from what we thought was going to be kind of one of Slot's favorite players. And people will remember he ended last season really, really well. Mm-hmm. And people thought, people drafted him over the summer. People drafted him.
Yeah, he's like an 8th rounder.
Yeah.
Like a dark horse.
Because people thought he was going to finally break the starting 11, but couldn't be farther from the truth. I can't explain it.
Like I'm hoping and gambling on the fact that you guys do have a bit of a fixture congestion, right?
Yeah.
Because you've got Ipswich on the 25th of Jan, then 29th of Jan is PSV, but you've already qualified for Champions League. Then you got Bournemouth on the 1st of Feb. Then 6th of Feb is the second leg of the EFL Cup versus Spurs. Then the FA Cup 4th round is on the 9th of Feb, and then Everton is on the 12th of Feb. So that's like every 3 days almost, right?
Yeah.
As soon as you enter February. So I'm kind of hoping that maybe like he gets something, because I mean we've seen it. I think last season or season before, didn't he end up as one of the top scoring double game week players for Liverpool as well?
Yes, for sure. Yep, I remember that because I think I had dropped him the week or two before that.
So it's purely a punt from my end, but yeah.
I was going to ask you, actually, this reminds me, I was going to ask you when we were talking double game week, if he doesn't start the first one, you're not starting him, are you?
Probably not, given the fact that now I've been reminded that they've got the early kickoff. I think I'd probably gamble on Idris Gueye instead. You're getting 180 minutes from him.
I think that's right. Yeah, that's fair. All right. Anything else on Sanjy's streamers?
No. I like
All right.
it.
Ryan.
Oh, Big Jan Bednarek.
Lakama.
What a god, man.
What a weird dude. Yeah, get you 20 or -3. Just roll the dice, Russian roulette, Polish roulette, whatever. Yeah, I mean you gotta like the upside. Honestly, you're not doing this for a 6 to 7 pointer. You're doing it for the potential to get a random 18 to 20 points.
Well, okay, so random.
Just read his scores; it'll be funny.
Oh, so yeah, you're hoping to get a random. Oh, I don't know, 10 plus, which he has done 5 out of the last 6 game weeks.
And then even in the one that he didn't and conceded 5, he still scored positive.
Yeah,
absolute
keep
legend.
you in the black. That was the one. That was the one that I started.
It's incredible. 20 points away at Fortress. Yeah, away at Forest. Which there you go, Freudian slip. Away at Forest. Insane.
Conceding 3. I mean, he got the goal, but like even conceding 3, he would have had a crazy amount of ghost points.
Conceded 3 against United. Scored 14.25. Like he's just
amazing.
Yeah, if they could somehow keep it. I mean, not a clean sheet. I mean, no, we're not asking for a miracle here, but like keep it under 2. Then we're cooking.
Yeah.
So yeah, you gotta roll the dice with Bed. Matty Cash, I gotta give it to you, Joe.
Yes.
I've always been a long time doubter of him because he's mostly trash, but recently he's actually been pretty good. So I picked him up in I think 2 leagues. Because I think some folks dropped him before Arsenal, and I mean he was fortunate to get that assist, but
sure. I don't think most people
2 weeks
start
prior.
him.
Yeah, the 2 weeks prior he was good, and I mean we just got done talking about how bad West Ham had been. So like West Ham at home, you gotta like their potential prospects for a clean sheet. Plus like watching him against Arsenal, he's been very attacking. So he's got the potential to get your return plus a clean sheet. I mean, you got to like the matchup. So I like
West Ham
at home,
Wolverhampton, Ipswich, Chelsea, Palace.
Yeah, Yeah, I like the interim hold as well. Jed Spence, another one that ghosted pretty well despite the abhorrent display against Everton. Despite shipping 3, still finished with a decent 7.75.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good ghosts. They're not going to keep a clean sheet. I don't care who the hell they're playing, but with those ghosts and the potential for a return, he's also playing against me this week if it helps.
Yes, it does.
So yeah, he's looking good this week. And then yeah, Jesper. I hope this isn't all to like prelude to him getting a random bench in favor of Harrison after that display. But yeah, he's got a chance to prove some doubters wrong by showing the 22 spot against Everton wasn't an aberration. So I'm probably benching him unless I get jammed up, just because I like some other options and I'm still not completely sold on him just this week. Obviously for the double, I really like him and I think he's a good hold. But this week I want him to show me something. But if you do have to start him, I think he'll be good. But I have some other options I'm probably going to go with. But yeah, either way, I like Lindstrom.
No, I mean, yeah, and regardless, I think you got to pick him up now. If he's on your waiver wire, grab him because we just talked double game week.
Yeah, I mean the time was last week, and then if not this week already. But if you have waivers tomorrow, yeah, pick him up.
Yeah, I can't argue with any of these. Sanjy?
Yeah, I love those picks, man. Spence got 9 successful dribbles last
Unbelievable.
Game week.
Yeah.
The highest for the game week, yeah. Yeah, pretty mental, man.
Who was going against Jacob Bryan? Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And Jesper, I guess.
Yeah.
Jesper just let him go.
So who's he got this week? Justin? Or is it
James, yeah.
Yeah.
JJ.
I mean, he's no slouch. I like me some Justin. But
It's just
no,
Justin.
he'll be fine. He'll be fine. All right, mine for the week. I've got Richarlison. I slotted him in here. I know this seems like sacrilege because I do not care for the man, both from a fantasy lens or a personal lens. But given the fact that he's 27% rostered and potentially in line to start against Leicester, you just have to. You have to. And we talked about forwards and the situation at forward and how we thought the pool was deeper than it actually was. And you just, pick him up. Worst case scenario, do a Ryan, pick him up on waivers and trade him out to somebody else who believes in him more, get some fab back for him or something. Because if you are in the 73% of leagues 73% of leagues, math, where he's available, you should just grab him at this point and either deal him or start him against Leicester because that's just the smart thing to do. So yeah, Richarlison's the first one. Still pretty lowly rostered, so that's why I included him on here. Another Spurs player, Ben Davies. If you haven't spent any time with his numbers, you should. He scores well, basically regardless of what happens on the field. Strangest player. 7.25 after conceding 3 to Everton. Sure, he scored 2.25 versus Bournemouth, but at least he didn't blank you. 11, almost 12 against Fulham, again conceding a goal. 9.5 against City. That was, I believe, with a clean sheet, though I can't remember exactly.
That was the 4-0 win, right?
The 4-0, yeah, okay.
Ryan was in UK for that. Memorable day, man.
Yeah.
There you go. So anyway, they're playing Leicester. Will they keep a clean sheet? Probably not, like Ryan already stated. But he has a decent floor, and so that's kind of why. That's why I like him. He's not. He's. It's hard to say. I would prefer Spence over him. I would prefer Cash over him. I would probably prefer Bednarek over him. And I think I would even prefer Sepp Vandenberg over him, which is my next choice. But if you're hemmed up, you need a defender. Everyone else is rostered. You could do worse than Davies. Jacob Ramsey. Interesting dude. So 24% rostered. Ryan, you've already mentioned how terrible West Ham look. That is the reason that I've included him in this. Now, I do so with trepidation because when you spend any time at all with his numbers, they're terrible. So you're hoping for an attacking return. This is a midfielder 4, midfielder 5. Don't get overly excited, but I think he could be involved. He's going to get hooked at 60. You're just hoping for a return. So if you have some roster flexibility and you just need potentially somebody to get you 8 or 11, he could be your guy. I don't love him, but he could be fine. Finally, Sepp Vandenberg. I probably should have had him higher on the list, honestly, because I actually do really like him this week, and I like him in general. He scored 9 versus Liverpool, conceding 2. He scored 5.25 versus City, conceding 2 with 0% possession. He scored 19 with a clean sheet against Southampton, 5.5 conceding 3 to Arsenal. I mean, it's all there. It's right there. Like you don't need any further convincing. Like when your base is around 5 and from anything up on top of that is just kind of a cherry on top, that's a pretty solid defender.
Do we think Ayer's return will supplant him, or maybe it's just too quick?
That's a good question.
Wait, who's return?
Ayer.
Ayer.
Ajer.
Christopher?
Oh, okay. I was like
Christopher.
Yeah. I thought Pinnock would be the one. No?
Pinnock's still out for a while, isn't he?
I think
Yeah,
he's
maybe
close,
like a
but
month
I
or so.
haven't.
Is he close? Damn.
I think he has a solid red flag if that means anything. to
He
people.
does.
I don't know.
Expected to
It doesn't.
return January 26th, late fitness test. Game time decision.
I think
Yeah, I don't know.
Sepp has that spot until Pinnock is back, to be honest.
I was gonna say, yeah, and I don't know that Crystal Palace is necessarily the team you rush Pinnock back for.
No.
Yeah, I think I maintain that I like Sepp this week. I think he's going to do good, and I think there's a decent floor there. I think he's a great like defender 3, defender 4, provided you have better options.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on these guys? To be honest, the Ramsey one really hurts me. I just
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, and yeah, for midfield upside on the wire, especially in a later game, I think he's the only game in town. Yeah, I hate Richarlison, and I just don't see it. He's also one of those guys that, like, if he does score, it's usually off the bench, and he's all or nothing.
Yeah, but their whole team's injured.
Even so, he didn't start, this past game.
Who was the starting front 3?
It was Son, Kulu. Who was the third? It wasn't Johnson. Obviously, Solanke was out.
Johnson's injured. Solanke's injured. It wasn't Werner.
No.
It was Madison, no?
He was more in like a midfield role.
Because they went. I think they started back 3. Son, Madison, Kulu, Bergvall, Sar was the 5 attacking players.
I never sold Madison on the wing, but maybe it's just like a slightly tweaked formation. But
Richarlison played 45 and
came on at the half for is it Sar?
yeah, I think so, and scored.
Yeah,
I think he's probably earned a start at this point.
probably, but I still wouldn't be surprised if he didn't.
And I wouldn't be.
Yeah. Rich came on for Dragosin. I think they changed formation.
Okay.
They realized it was not working. Yeah.
There you go. Oh wow. So Ange really can change tactics when he needs to. That's interesting.
Yeah, taking off a center half for a striker.
Oh yeah, so they had kind of like a spear going on. They had Madison Kulu behind Son.
Pretty blunt spear.
Yeah, with Son's current form, it definitely is. Which is another reason why I think Richarlison starts. And again, he could blank you because he's done it in the past. But the matchup is right, I think, for him to be able to do something. And so I think he'll get some shots. He'll get maybe some key passes, and that's probably about it. But that might be enough.
Yeah, it's really just the Ramsey one. I mean, given that it's the second to last fixture in the game week as well.
Oh, it is.
If you see other options like starting before him, would you not rather?
Oh, I absolutely would. I didn't even realize that. It's purely the matchup that I like. I like the matchup there. I think that West Ham has looked absolutely inept, and so I think that Ramsey can make a splash for the time that he's on the field. But yeah, no, I mean, who would you like? Who would you like over him that's available?
Like a Norgard, I think.
Norgard versus Palace? Yeah,
Palace?
for sure. Yeah. But Norgard, I bet, is higher rostered than you think.
Really?
Yeah, 50, 49.
Yeah, hit or miss. Yeah. What if you get a? Well, I don't know if Marino is flying around on waivers and stuff like that, but he's been in and out. I think in rosters in some of my leagues as well. If he started versus Wolves, I think you kind of like that play as well, potentially.
He's available in some of my leagues.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is he? That's weird.
Yeah.
It just
it's
dropped.
amazing.
Yeah, I just dropped 11 ghosts.
Yeah.
Would you go Ramsey or Mateus Nunez if he starts?
Oh God, I'd rather just play with 10 men.
Ramsey or Tyler Adams?
I think I'd go Tyler.
That's a good one, I think, because he had 11 and a half against Newcastle, but then before that it was bad. It was 4.25 to 2.5, 7.5, 2.
Yeah, the 11.5 has an assist, I think, as well.
Oh.
Yeah. Not great.
Not great.
Or like one of the Brighton mids that are constantly in and out the team as well, like Ayari, Baleba, Matt O'Reilly, one of these lads. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, Ryan, speaking of midfielders, Ryan, I wanted to ask you about Joao Gomez. What the hell was that? What the hell was that?
Only Chelsea would do that, Only fucking Chelsea, bro.
He dropped 17 ghost points.
Yeah, he's a really weird dude, honestly. Very weird.
Yeah, he topped tackles this game week, 7 of them.
Yeah, and when you look at his stats, I mean, they were all over the board. He was doing everything, and that's why I think he got so many ghost points. 3 key passes on top of the 7 tackles you're talking about, right? He had some clearances in there. He had some crosses. Like, he was everywhere.
Yeah, but this is the trap for managers, right? People are going to see this thing and be like, oh, okay, quality mid option. I think, honestly, it's just Chelsea.
Oh, I dropped him.
So there you go.
Yeah, I dropped him. I actually did start him last week, but only because it was Monday, and I sorted by whoever was starting, and he was the best bet there. But he didn't give me the win. I already had the win. I just wanted to pad some stats.
That's mental. People would have gone Sarabia over him as well, and Sarabia dropped 2 points, man.
Absolutely, and Sarabia after that got dropped by a lot of people, I think.
Yeah, he didn't look great. But I mean, Wolves were terrible. I mean, really, really bad. It's the worst I've seen them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not going to get better anytime soon. Arsenal, Villa, Liverpool, Bournemouth. Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's brutal.
That's really bad.
And potentially without Cunha, so.
Yeah, seeing that schedule, maybe I do hope Cunha leaves.
Yeah, it's true. Like, unless you want to bench him for a month.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do this weekend. I could see him not starting, given everything, and like Pereira trying to prove a point because he was yeah, his body language was bad. He was just bitching the whole game. So
Yeah.
Thankfully that's an early game.
Thankfully, absolutely.
Would you not try to trade him though, right now?
I'm thinking about it. I'm testing the waters in one of my league. I was just actually texting somebody about a potential deal. Munoz +1. I have him in all 3 leagues now. I drafted him in 2, and then I traded for him 2 weeks ago. Of course, dealing Trent before a 30 spot.
Yep.
But
I did the same thing.
yeah,
This is on us.
well, I mean, you could have coordinated. I didn't know that. Yeah, I don't know what would I want for him because I love that dude.
I know. That's so great.
Maybe
All
one
right.
of the West Ham boys that
Ugh.
God no.
I mean, Bowen. I'll take Bowen, sure.
Yeah, like Bowen or Kudus.
Think about it. I wouldn't do it for Kudus. It'd have to be a tasty package. Kudus plus a good one.
Yeah, Kudus has been so bad. Yeah. Anyway, all right.
Fair. Yeah.
Nice. We'll go ahead and wrap it up. Everyone who joined us live, thank you so much. We were cruising for a while with people joining in and actually like watching the live stream. So that was pretty solid. Some of the better numbers we've gotten. So I'm not going to say them because other streams will be like, wow, you guys are not whatever. But but for us, it was pretty encouraging. So I will just say that. So thanks for those who joined, and for those who haven't or never have thought about it, you should. Wednesdays, 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. We do this live stream. Come in, ask questions, hang out, and be a part of the community. We love it.
Quick shout.
Yeah.
Lewis Skelly apparently got an injury. Wasn't even on the bench tonight. Zinchenko got a start in the Champions League. If Arteta doesn't want to risk bringing Calafiori right back in, Zinchenko might get a cheeky start.
Against
normally
Wolves.
I'd be like meh, but it's against Wolves potentially with a pissed off Cunha. So something to keep in mind.
Yeah, I'm having scenes in my mind of like Cunha playing really well because
I know
So I don't know
one of 2 ways.
Yeah. It's a strange one.
But if he's benched, it'll make it easier. It'll make it
Right,
a lot
totally.
easier.
Yeah.
Even though, he could also come on and ghost out of his mind, like chasing the game second half. But
Yeah.
we'll see.
All right, everyone. Best of luck this game week. We'll talk to everyone soon. If you have any questions, get into the Discord. That's where everything is happening. Talk to people on there. Join the community. Get some advice. Talk to people who know. The community is incredible. So get on Discord. If you need some help on how to do that, send any of us a message. Send the Draft Society a message. Go to the website. Send us an email. It's all there. So, yeah. Get on Discord. Love you guys. Community, you're amazing. Talk to everyone soon. Cheers.